Hi, this is Joe again with another review. When I was saying this review, I'm going to be discussing the 1971 TV movie called Duel, starring Dennis Weaver. Of course, this was also the film that pretty much put Steven Spielberg on the map, because it really was the first real movie that Spielberg had directed. Even though it was a TV movie, and later on it got a theatrical release. And well, I guess because of the publicity with Jaws, 4 years later, Spielberg, they released his first real movie, and that was Duel. That's the one I'm talking about today. Because Duel stars, like I said, Dennis Weaver. He plays a businessman who's traveling through California to talk to a particular client, or to woo a particular client for his business. And while he's traveling, he has a run-in with this big, he gets old-fashioned, but that time, an old-fashioned truck was spewing, pollution into the air, carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide, the smoke that spews out of a truck or your car. And of course, Dennis Weaver was naturally talking on it and said, "Oh, this is disgusting, whatever." Even though he has his windows rolled up, he still was affected by the smoke that's pouring out of this truck. So he says something that's to the driver, cut the crap out, you're bothering me. Let me get ahead of you. The truck driver didn't give a damn, and for the rest of this film, the truck driver is harassing and chasing Dennis Weaver all over the country. He was stalking him, and even though you don't really see the truck driver, you may see an arm out the window, or maybe a side of his face. We don't really see the truck driver. It's mostly from Dennis Weaver's point of view, and he's getting chased by this guy, and it's through the whole film, it keeps stalking him, and every time Dennis Weaver would stop someplace to fill it with gas, or to fill his car with gas, I should say, or to stop in to have lunch, he's telling the people, to look, I'm getting followed, stalked by this guy, and he won't leave me alone. I mean, he's really trying to kill me. This guy. I mean, nobody believed him, and then he finally calls the cops, and then the truck driver runs through the cops, runs through everybody just to get at Dennis Weaver, because Dennis Weaver had opened up his big mouth. That's how usually these things happen, when somebody opens up the big mouth to somebody who can't take it, and they start a road rage incident. This is really the first real instance. I should mention, this is the first real instance of a road rage incident. That's basically what it's like, a road rage film. And you didn't even have until road rage at the time, 1971. You didn't have it at that time. But I guess the term road rage actually came from this movie. Kind of like 12 years later, when War Games came out, the term computer hacking came really from that movie. Same thing here. You had the term road rage, or road rage incident from this movie, which is Duel, by the way. It's D-U-E-L, Duel. And like I said, it was directed by Steven Spielberg. And of course, after Spielberg made this movie, he was offered to direct Jaws, and he started similar with Jaws and Duel, with the shark stalking, the ship, the orca, Robert Shaw's boat. And it was like he approached some of the material the same way in Jaws as he did in Duel, which is interesting to see an early film of Spielberg before it became such a big shot. And such an extreme liberal guy, he ruins E.T. by taking the guns out of E.T., which is another story altogether. But for Duel, it's like it is a thriller. And the thrills are there in this film to a T. And I thought it was kind of really extreme. I mean, this thing could have been done to like maybe a 1 hour show. I mean that's how the thing got padded out to stretch it out to an hour and a half for a TV, without commercials for a TV movie. It was really padded out. This thing could have been done within maybe a half hour, 45 minutes tops, without the commercials. And I mean, because that's how stretched out this thing was. And it's not much for me to, and I'm going to ruin the ending of this movie. For those of you who have not seen it, and how Dennis Weaver gets out of it. He does get out of it. I mean, the thing doesn't end in the film. It doesn't end. Well, the hell with it. Major spoiler. The truck driver dies in the end of the movie, and the truck goes over the side of a cliff because Dennis Weaver was in his little itty bitty Pinto, or whatever the hell it was driving, was able to maneuver and trick the truck driver to go over the cliff, and of course the truck explodes and goes over and over and over down the hill, and explodes, and of course it kills the truck, and that's pretty much how the movie ends. But you know, like I said, this thing could have been done within maybe in 45 minutes tops. I mean, this thing was so padded out, it was so boring. To me, I thought it was boring. And I said, okay, when's this thing going to end? I mean, it was a very, very slow-paced, stalking film. And I mean, Dennis Weaver gave a pretty good performance in this film. I'm not knocking the performance of Dennis Weaver. I mean, you do feel his, you know, anxiety, his nervousness because he's being stalked by this guy. But other than that, I mean, the movie is pretty much stereotypical for the time. Let me put it that way. It's very stereotypical TV film of this type of. Even though I think this movie presented the type of genre, or started the genre of the road rage stuff that you see. Unfortunately, today in reality, you see stuff like this happen in reality. Maybe not to the extreme at the end of this movie, when you eventually see it. And you know, you see it on all those various TV shows, like Cops or Neighborhood Wars or A&E and all this type of crazy stuff. And I think because this movie actually started that trend, you know, it's not directly credited, but it should have been credited for starting the whole road rage thing we see today. But the movie, it's not. I don't want to say it's horrible. It's just that it's extremely, for an hour and a half TV movie, it was extremely boring. And it's sad to say that it's got to be pretty boring for me to say a Spielberg movie is boring. This movie was extremely boring. By a long shot. And it's mainly because it's really one guy with this truck. It's like really a two-person movie. Dennis Weaver and the guy who played the truck driver. And let me tell you guys off, a lot of the driving stunts that were done in this movie were actually done by professional stunt drivers. Or maybe even, yeah, it was done, what I understand is it was done by professional stunt drivers. So that's why most of the driving, at least the extreme scenes where the truck driver chasing Dennis Weaver, was done by stunt drivers. I think that's who played the truck driver was actually a stunt driver, and that's really what you need to do a movie like this. Is you need professional stunt drivers, which I don't think you really have anymore because everything's CGI with special effects today. But the movie is, like I said before, it's extremely boring. I mean, if you want to see the first real Spielberg movie, go ahead and check it out. But I have to warn you, it's boring. That's my review of the movie Duel. Please click on the video, please rate it, please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video on the Facebook pages. And you check out all my reviews and only on my YouTube channel at rallyc.com. That's all WDY, and then C.com. There's a homepage, the Rally Reviewer, Chris Lee Moore, and please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.